Hello everyone and welcome to Fifth North. I'm Demir and today I want to talk to you about my motovlog setup. So as you guys have noticed, I do quite a bit of motovlogging where I'm recording my motorcycle rides, and a lot of times I'll be talking about different topics and different subjects while riding. So the question that I get a lot is, how do you record your rides? How do you record your audio, both from your bike and from you talking, and kind of how do you put it all together? So what I want to do in this video is just kind of break it down and show you guys all the equipment that I use, how it all works together, and how I have it all installed on my bike to get the quality of audio and video that I get in the videos that you guys see. Alright, so let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to show you guys both the equipment and the setup. Let's go into the studio real quick and I'll show you exactly what I've got going on. Alright, so here you guys can see we've got all the gear, all the camera gear, audio gear in the case, as well as my helmet. I'll show you what I'm using and how it all works together. So let's start off with the case first. The primary camera, and the one that you see my point of view with, is a GoPro Hero 8. And as you guys can see, I have it set up with a metal turn dial here because I don't like the plastic ones. They break sometimes. So I upgraded it to the metal one. And then I also upgraded the door here. As you guys can see, it is not the original door that came with the GoPro. I swapped it out because it does have the USB-C pass-through. So even with the door closed, I can still plug in the USB-C cables. So it's kind of very important for the setup that I have running. I've also got it on this plastic attachment piece here that slides right into the helmet. And then I've also got a ND32 filter. This is a Polar Pro filter and has worked very well for me so far. All right, we'll go ahead and put that camera down. My secondary camera is another Hero GoPro 8. This is going to be the one that I use for my quote-unquote selfie shot where it's shooting towards me. I also have an ND filter on it, except for this one I use an ND16. I'm not quite sure why, but every time I shoot in my direction, the ND32 ends up being too dark, so ND16 is what I use for this one. It has a rubber ball mount. This is a ram mount rubber ball. The rubber ball helps actually absorb quite a bit of vibration when I mount the camera to my handlebars, so that rubber ball is a really big piece of the equation. Moving on from there, for both cameras, obviously I have the two cameras, so I need to have a lot of batteries. I've got 6 total batteries with 3 separate quick chargers. This allows me to charge all 6 batteries at once. As you can see, you've got 1 and 2 per charger, so definitely always got to have batteries, right? So that's why I run this setup where I've got 3 different battery packs. All right, so moving on from there, I've got the GoPro Hero Session 5. This is my beat up get destroyed camera. I'll put this one anywhere where it's dangerous to protect my Hero 8s from being damaged. So any sort of a crazy shot, any sort of a high risk shot, the Hero 5 Session is used for that. All right, so moving on from video, I have the audio setup as well. So looking at the audio setup, this is going to be my audio recorder. It is a Tascam DR05X. I use this for audio recording. This actually will pair with a Purple Panda microphone, and I'll actually place these two either in a backpack or under the seat of my bike, depending on what I'm looking for. But I'll utilize that to get audio, mostly the exhaust note audio. Alright, so I'm back on the bike here, and as you guys can see and hear, I'm recording both the audio from the exhaust or from the motorcycle, as well as me talking, my voice. And so the key here for me is I actually record them separately. So there is a microphone in my camera which records my voice, and then there's the separate camera microphone that doesn't go to a camera. It actually goes to my digital recorder. That's the one that's recording the exhaust note of the bike. So that one's the one that I mentioned that's either under the seat or in my backpack, depending on what bike I'm riding, what kind of audio levels I need, all that kind of good stuff. So I kind of play with that placement depending on the audio that I need. But the key here is by recording the voice track and the exhaust track separate, I have a lot more play later with turning different parts up and down in volume to give me that clear sound that I want. So having them separate is a huge advantage, and in my opinion sounds way better than trying to record them together. Alright, so let's cut to my helmet. So this is kind of the main setup here. I've got a Shoei RF 1400. Fantastic helmet that I'm really happy with, honestly. It is a little bit pricey. It's in that $600 range, but to me, it's worth every penny. So if you look at the helmet itself, I've got the tint shield on there. Definitely enjoy that privacy bit, and obviously that sun protection. And then, as you guys can see, I've done a custom wrap on my helmet. One side is just a blank white. On the other side, I've got this kind of abstract black, and then obviously I've got the at Fifth North on the back and the Fifth North compass on top. So Just kind of a little bit of personalization for me. But anyway, enough about the helmet. Let's talk about the actual setup itself. Kind of give you guys a couple more angles here, as I'm kind of proud of this this sticker job, if you will. All right, so the biggest thing is, how do I record audio? So the biggest piece of that puzzle is going to be the GoPro microphone adapter. This is going to be the one that's compatible with the Hero 8. I try to glue it on, I try to stick it on, try to do a couple of different things, but it turns out the Velcro was the only way to work, so that's what I'm using. This cable right here is going to plug directly into my Hero 8, which is where that open door comes in. To mount the GoPro, I use a company called Chin Mount. This is a really great piece. As you guys can see, it's actually molded to the helmet shape. Each one of their mounts is specific to a helmet, so you know it's going to fit right. A lot of the universal mounts aren't bent the right way, and so they kind of don't stick perfectly. So with that being said, the GoPro will mount right into that slot. As you guys can see, I'll slide it in there, and then that'll give me my point of view shot. As you guys can see, it's at a slight angle. That way when I put my helmet on and my head is basically pointing straight, and obviously I plug in the microphone adapter here, that's where that open door really comes in handy. So as I have it pointed straight, you'll notice the angle of the adapter makes the GoPro dead straight with the road, and that gives you guys the right point of view. Instead of looking down or looking up, it gives you that straight ahead look for the road. All right, so from there, this part is not actually for recording motovlogs, but I use it to listen to music to make my ride more fun. It is the Cardo Edge. I'm a huge fan of this Bluetooth. If you're not using a Cardo, you're just doing it wrong, in my opinion. The Cardo just seems to work the best. I've got 2 speakers inside the helmet. As you guys can see, they're tucked in quite nicely. They sound great. They're very comfortable. I can barely tell they're actually inside the helmet. Obviously I can tell because I hear the music, but from a comfort standpoint, I can't hear them at all. And obviously there's a speaker, one on each side. So I'll use the Cardo for music or from time to time to communicate with people. Also on this helmet, I installed this little wind screen right here. It does help reduce wind noise. And then I always keep this vent closed because that is right where my microphones are, and I can't have any excess wind noise to make obviously extra noise. You guys can see here, so I've got 2 microphones velcroed in here. One is going to be the one that's feeding my GoPro directly. The GoPro one is going to go through the helmet into the GoPro microphone adapter and then into the Hero 8. The second one goes directly into my Cardo. That way if I ever need to make a phone call, any Bluetooth communication, comms between bikes, all that kind of stuff, it's picked up right there. But by having them in the exact same spot, it's going to give me the exact same audio quality regardless of which unit I'm recording to or speaking to. And so that's pretty much it. That's how my helmet is set up. I've got the GoPro on the front, the microphone adapter, and everything's good to go. Alright, so you guys kind of got an idea of where my point of view shot comes from. You've got the GoPro on the front, like I said, and that microphone adapter, that GoPro adapter, is going to be what captures my voice when I speak through that microphone. The microphone that I'm using is actually one I found on Amazon. It's actually meant for gaming headsets, but it works really well for this setup that I have going on, so that's pretty much what it is. I'll link all this stuff down below, that way you guys can check it out if you want to. But anyway, so this is going to be the main view. You've got the GoPro Hero 8 on my camera with that microphone adapter recording straight to the GoPro. So that's what gives you this, what you're seeing right now. Now the other part that I have, which is going to be the selfie view, if you will, the one where I cut back so you guys can see me, that one is going to come from the second GoPro Hero 8, which you guys can see right now is mounted to my handlebar. So let me show you what that setup looks like. All right, so for that setup, I'm gonna use a complete RAM mount setup. So the thing I like about this RAM mount setup is you've got a very simple clamp right here that goes around the handlebar, goes into one rubber ball, into a stem here, and then another rubber ball. The 2 different rubber balls really do a great job of absorbing vibration. You've got the little tilt action right there that I can use, and I can adjust it all the way across. This can go back and forth, up and down, gives me full adjustability. But this little rubber mount base really does help a lot with the vibration. So really good setup in my opinion, probably the best that I've gotten as far as minimal vibration for the video. And then to give you guys some perspective, this is what that shot looks like. So this is what I'm getting from that selfie pointed GoPro Hero 8. As I said, the 2 rubber mounts, the one on the base and the one on the top holding the GoPro, really reduce the vibration from the handlebar greatly, and it's really made it possible for me to have that selfie view, because before the rubber mounts, the camera would just shake really bad and the quality would just be really poor. So So I really like that setup to make it possible to do this angle. I think it's fun to switch back and forth. Sometimes it looks cooler from one angle versus the point of view angle, so just kind of nice to have those two options. Speaking of angles, there is a third angle that I use from time to time. This is where the Hero 5 sessions will come into play. And like I said earlier, the Hero 5 session, I'll mount into locations like, you know, maybe I want this view right here where I'm pointing to the suspension, or maybe like the wheel and the brakes, or, you know, whatever I'm trying to show you guys. And oftentimes I'll use clamps to mount it like to the frame here, or you know, right by the engine where it's really hot, where a camera might get damaged, or any bars on the bike, you know, like again the frame, or maybe somewhere down below, or maybe I want a shot of the exhaust, so I'll hang it from a different place, maybe from that bar pointing this way, you know, whatever the case might be. But this is where the sessions really comes in handy. With that being said, though, let's talk about one last thing. What kind of memory cards am I using? So memory card wise, I'll go ahead and show you guys. So if I pop open my Hero 8, I'll go ahead and pull it out. So I did a test on this card. I did a test on this card a couple months ago, not on this specific card. I did it on the bigger version of it, which was the full size SD card from ProGrade. I loved it so much, I decided to give their micro. I just cannot get this card to focus here. I decided to give their micro SD cards a chance, and they've been phenomenal. They are a UHS-2, so they write and read really fast, and they transfer to my computer even faster. So if you're looking for a card to use with your action cameras, I highly recommend ProGrade. They do a really good job. But more or less, that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them for you. I will tell you, it took me probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 different versions of this setup to get it exactly how I wanted it and to get this level of quality. So, you know, if you're trying to set up your MotoVlog setup and you're struggling with it, that's okay. Understand that it's going to take a few tries to get it exactly how you want it, but hopefully this video gives you some tips and pointers and makes it a little bit easier for you. But once again, if you do have any questions, drop it down in the comments below or hit me up on social media and I'll do my best to help you out. But with that being said, if you like this video, hit the like button for me, and if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button as well. Hit the notification bell, as that will let you know when the next video comes out. But thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a great night, and be safe out there while you're riding, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.